Cindy, we heard Cindy yelling, saying that you told her she shouldn't be praying. What was that about?
I don't know. She said she saw something on TV and she was upset about it. I don't know.
What was she like in the meeting? What was her demeanor?
Combative.
Did she answer the questions you wanted to?
Some she did. John took most of the deposition here. John took most of the deposition. So some she did, some she didn't.
What did she
see on TV that got her upset, though?
What did she
As far as the clips on TV, we asked her specifically the thing she had said earlier, and what we particularly focused in on was our client being cleared, and we've heard a lot about that in the media, that our client was cleared early on. Well, the family had talked to Casey, who denied ever seeing the photo lineup, and she was very clear about this. Said, I was never shown a photo of that girl down in Kissimmee. So it was the jailhouse video we went through, and then after that, Miss Anthony, with her daughter's permission to speak for her, went out and said, my daughter was never shown a photo lineup at any time. So that's a clip that's gone out and it's been played, and we've seen that. So what it really has to do with is, although we've heard from Mr. Casey, who wasn't here again, and from other people that she was cleared by the police officers, we know that Casey, for whatever reason, and we probably know the reason, was continuing to try to, throw everybody off the scent, including with our clients. So that was an important thing. That's what we were showing up there, one of the clips, and as well as for other statements.
Did Cindy ultimately say that wasn't Zenaida, the one that they're looking for, the person that supposedly stole Kaylee? Did she actually say that in her words?
We heard many different things. She did say that she doesn't think this Zenaida Gonzalez was the one. But then we heard quite a bit of arguing at the end there about the application in Sawgrass. So it wasn't overly clear. She said she wanted to clear her name. We believe that happened, but we certainly know now that she was authorized on her daughter's behalf to go ahead and speak for her and to basically tell everybody out there in the world that her daughter had not cleared our client back when she was showing a photo lineup, and I think it was around July 16th. So
what got her angry at the end?
I can tell you, as of the deposition, she said very clearly it was not Zenaida Gonzalez that we represent. Very clearly. At the deposition today, that right. is the acknowledgement now today, both George and Cindy said it isn't this Zenaida. That's a wonderful step forward.
So do you think it's done? Your work here is done then?
No, our work's not done because because Casey Anthony still refuses to answer the question from the person that started it all. So no, our work's not done.
Well, you're saying about throwing off the scent, and we're hearing the questions. We've heard some of the questions you've been asking all day long. Is there something coming from your side that is maybe a presumption of guilt on Casey Anthony's behalf that you're feeling? You're saying she threw us off the scent.
Well, it's not about throwing us off the scent. What we're interested in, have always been interested in, is clearing our client's name. There was a time when our client was interviewed by the police, and according to the police, Casey Anthony said, no, that's not her. She subsequently turns around and said, I was never shown a photograph. She tells Miss Anthony goes out to the news media, and you guys have probably all seen these clips. So that's what we're talking about, getting off the scent, and any cleansing from that initial, that's not her, was undone by Casey Anthony, and then also through her.
Are you going after motive why Casey might have tried to throw you off the scent? I mean, are you curious about that, or is that you guys thinking that?
We don't know.
Okay.
We got opinions, but nobody knows.
That's not really our issue.
Did Cindy walk out?
She was going to walk out. She wanted to walk out. We took a break, and then she took her mic off and said she was through, and then we took a break and she finished.
Did she refuse to answer certain questions?
Yes.
What did she
What were those questions?
What all did she refuse to?
She refused to answer, and we'll be filing a motion on this, possibly, but having to do with her daughter taking money from her daughter.
The credit card question.
The credit card question, I'm sorry, the daughter using her credit cards without permission. A couple other things having to do with the financial situation of Casey right around during this time period, because remember, Casey had said that this was a nanny, and then we heard information today that Casey had said that this was a nanny. Zanny was a nanny that had been paid. So that's why we're asking this question. For some reason, she refused to answer that.
Did she answer the question dealing with Dominic Casey?
No.
She refused to answer whether she got a tip or...
She said a little bit more than George, I think. I think that the punchline from today is what John said, which is the police told her that Casey had looked at the lineup and said that wasn't Zenaida. Right. Number two, that then she met with Casey, and Casey said, I never told the police that. We showed her the clips. But then the mother goes on TV knowing that Casey has been shown this, according to the police, and decides to tell the story that Casey told her that I never saw Zenaida Gonzalez instead of the story that the police told. And so if she's really interested in clearing this woman's name, way back when she would have come out and said, she looked at it, it wasn't her, and that would have been the end of that.
So why did she go on TV? What did she say about why she went on TV and said that?
I don't think she
What
did.
was her response to that?
Her-
I mean, it's
Well, you'll see from the clips and the interviews, just in case everybody wants to look, is the July 25th afternoon, 2 p.m. And that's when Cindy asks her specifically, why don't you get a sketch artist? Weren't you shown a lineup? And Casey said, I was not shown anything. And that girl down in Kissimmee, I never saw her picture. And Cindy said, I was told you did. She was there full of bleep. Then that night, Cindy goes out and talks to the press and said, my daughter told me she was never shown a photo lineup.
so she's obviously believing Casey. She's believing her daughter.
She also said that she didn't know what she believed at that point. So you'll see
What
from the
about at this
transcript.
point? What does she believe when it comes to
Still believe
Xana
there's
the
a
nanny?
Zanny?
Well, she did come out and say that she had questions in her mind, and I'll let the kind of transcript speak for that because I went over that quite a bit with her. Certainly, she said previously that she believes Zanny may have been a real person at some point in time that nobody has ever seen, including anybody, any of the Anthonys, anybody at this point.
Did either of them say anything that could shake up the criminal trial, in your opinion? Shake things up.
I doubt it.
I doubt it, yeah, I doubt it. I mean,
We don't know what all they know, but they probably knew everything we knew.
remember, for
And
us,
we've got a whole different agenda.
yeah, for us, it's all about defamation. And an important part to focus on, which we focused on at the end, was Casey Anthony left the home on June 15th.
Correct.
On June 17th, and there's all sorts of talk about her being at Sawgrass Apartments with her friends. On June 17th, that's when this Zenaida Gonzalez was at Sawgrass Apartments.